Not only do you have this description in the newspaper, which we now see in front of us, but we have this gate, which aligns with the U-shaped structure, which aligns with this construct. This stems from the discovery of an ancient tunnel that may link the team to the treasure rumored to be hidden somewhere on this mysterious island. The findings indicate that ancient religious military groups and militant societies worked together to bring this treasure to this mystifying place. Here is how Marag found the Oak Island treasure and shocked the treasure industry. When one hears that the Lena brothers and their crew have been searching for treasure for many years now, one wonders how they could even keep going with this treasure hunt. After all, they aren't the only ones who have spent their time and resources searching for treasure on this island. Many have wandered onto this remote location off the south coast of Nova Scotia for more than 200 years. While looking at the brothers and how they appear to remain committed to their cause, spending so many years out on this mysterious island looking for this treasure, one can see how it has driven them closer to the treasure with every moment that goes by. We join the team as they focus their search for the elusive treasure that is hidden on the island by turning their attention to the Money Pit area. This is because Scott Barrow was excited to share his new discovery with the team. This must have occurred because the team had been working hard on getting some materials out of the shaft, with some good fortune that may help extract some important finds dating back centuries. Scott came across some answers to the many mysteries that can be found on the island. That said, he couldn't ignore how strange some of these recent discoveries were, especially because there seemed to be no sign of structure in the underground passages that they found in the shaft. Eager to learn more, they decided to explore this area. Despite approaching this exploration with some initial hope, they were faced with more problems than answers when they realized sections of the tunnel had collapsed onto themselves. Considering the situation as it was at the time, they felt that they should return their focus to the items that they had discovered recently. They believed that these discoveries might give the team some important details about the island's mysteries. The tunnel passed, it could even give them details of what the tunnel may have been used for when it was still operational. Not deterred by their challenge, the team continued to dig into the tunnel so that they could determine how old it is with the use of carbon dating. Such an occurrence was considered exciting by several members of the team, such as Doug. Considering the recent developments that were going on, the brothers were eager to get all the information they could get because it could help them with the search for the elusive treasure that is said to be hidden somewhere on this mysterious island. The discovery of treasure is the main reason this team is actually on the island. It is also able to recognize that there was a possibility that the team's most recent efforts on the island may prove to be important. As a result, Rick expressed his gratitude by thanking the members of their team for their hard work so far. Following this, he suggested that they get samples of any nails and boards that they could find so that they could study them for more information. As you can imagine, this reflects the sentiment of how important these items may prove to be. As such, it is clear that it is important to perform a full examination on the items that were discovered. With this in mind, the team continued with their quest to solve the 229-year-old treasure hunting mystery on the island. Recently, the team was excited by the discovery of what seemed to be a stone-high tunnel that was located underneath the garden shaft. To their surprise, detailed analysis of the tunnel revealed that it had been taken down or had somehow collapsed onto itself. Eager to learn more, the team became determined to remove the iron objects and the wooden beams that they found on the site. That way, they could learn how old they were through the use of carbon dating. Thanks to this investigation, the team was able to come away with some hand-cut square nails that were found in the wood. This could prove to be important clues that could help the team as they search for the treasure that was rumored to be hidden on the island. Looking at these nails, the team was certain that these nails were manufactured all the way back in the 1600s. Dr. Doug Simmons came up with the theory that suggested a possible link between the Knights Templar and the Vikings who were present on Oak Island. This may be why he thought the stone forms and here's the text formatted into paragraphs for better readability, without skipping any words. The 5 stone piles that were found on Lot 15 were built by this Christian medieval military organization. If you ask Dr. Simmons, he will tell you that Land's Ox Meadows, which is more recently known as Newfoundland, is an important site because that is where the Vikings discovered and built towns in North America as far back as the year 1000. Apparently, the Knights Templar were known to search for holy items and relics during the Crusades. Maybe this was because their headquarters were established in Jerusalem in the 1200s. To Dr. Simmons, this meant that the Vikings and the Knights Templar may have collaborated with each other at some point in time in the past. As interesting as this concept may be, the team was momentarily distracted by the discovery of a piece of ship railing at the southern edge that could be dated back to the 800s. Imagine that. Such a discovery suggests that the Vikings may have made it to Oak Island more than a millennium ago, in the year 1008. Another fascinating discovery was that of a copper coin that could be dated to any time between the 1400s and the 1700s based on the green color that was stained onto it. They were lucky to come across this ancient relic while examining the strange rectangular foundation on Lot 5. Consequently, the team plans to keep digging as they search for artifacts that they could study to learn all they can about the history of this fascinating island. Rena continues to lead the team as they search for this elusive treasure that is rumored to be hidden on this island for more than 229 years. This turns our attention to two artifacts that were found in Scandinavia, while Dr. Simmons was studying the trips people took in Europe between 1000 and 1200 AD. These findings form the basis of his theory. He believes this is why the Vikings were exploring North America in 1000 AD and even building cities in North America back then. Perhaps this is why the area known as Newfoundland seems to be so important. Dr. Simmons knew that the Knights Templar were a group that searched for historical items underground, and that they had their headquarters in Jerusalem more than 1,000 years ago. Thanks to these facts, Dr. Simmons figured that the Knights Templar and the Vikings could have worked together to achieve some sort of shared goal. Common goals. In reference to more information on the Met, Dr. Simmons points to King Sig of Norway, who may have transported some of his to O back when he was around in 1177. It is Dr. Simm's belief that he transported his riches to the mysterious island with the help of the Vikings. According to Dr. Simmons, some of his researches may be proof that the KN Templar and the Vikings were allies during the raids to the Holy Land in the 1200s. As such, it seems as though there are theories that state that the Vikings may have been integral to the transportation of holy artifacts to Ond. Who can blame them for having? Looking into the history of this mysterious island, a lot of fascinating objects were discovered. At island, we are talking about such as known cross, the megalithic stone formations that we mentioned earlier, a stone well, and a paved area that was discovered in Unlock 26. According to Dr. Simmons, it looks like all these things may have been made on the island in the 1300s. If this is true, this may give us some explanations as to how objects from Scandinavia may have made it there all those years ago. As you can expect, once the team discovered this possible link between the Vikings and the Knights Templar, the team was keen to see how much they could learn about this relationship. As fascinating as this may be, the team was also interested to learn if this would have any implications on their search for the treasure on the island. As fascinating as these notions may be, the team were lucky enough to find some more proof that Vikings lived on the island during the Middle Ages. While looking into the land in the southern region of the island, the team came across a piece of ship railing that was carbon dated to the 800s. This discovery was made at the same time they discovered shipwreck wood that could be dated any time within the 1400s and the 1700s. This supports the notion that Vikings may have made their way to Oak Island around 1. As you can imagine, the team was excited about what these discoveries have to offer them. They also claim that they pledged to keep finding artifacts to analyze that seemed to be the only way that they could learn all they could about the island's past. Recently, the team persisted with looking into a strange rectangular base that was discovered on the western part, known as Lot 5. Apparently, the land was purchased by Ina about a year ago. Ever since this acquisition, along with another archaeologist known as Helen Sheldon, along with Jack, they have been carrying out several digging operations. Thanks to this, they have been able to discover someone and Pip STS from around the same periods of time. Once they got there, they decided to clean the dirt off the base of the feature, which is when a coin with a green patina was discovered. Thanks to this green patina, it looks like there's a chance that this coin is much older than the one that was found in the 18th century. To the team, this meant that the coin could let them know who made it. It could even let the team know when it was made. Considering the fact that the feature looked like it was made before the 18th century, questions of who built it, when they built it, and why it was built are impossible to determine at this point in time. Aside from this, they found a huge spike made of hand-forged iron stuck in the foundation of the feature. As you can imagine, the team believed that this could be another important clue that could make an impact on their cause. Thanks to this, the team was eager to search for clues that could help them know what the money pit was used for. It could also help them find the wall on Lot 5, which may have some information on what the money pit was used for. In light of this, a meeting was held with Carleg, the team blacksmith expert and armory expert. The agenda of this meeting was for them to discuss how to go about looking at two metal items that were found in the tunnel under the garden shaft. Other members of the meeting included other members of the Curse of O. These objects resembled fasteners or a chest piece, and were scanned with the state-of-the-art technology that they had at their disposal. That seemed to be the only way that these guys could learn how old these items were and what they were made of. Apparently, K&A believed that one of these items may have originated from any point in time between the 1400s and the 1700s. Such an idea made the team even more excited about what they might come across when they searched the money pit area. In order to understand what they were working with, the team was given a carbon dating study that showed the tunnel under the garden shaft had actually been constructed up to about 150 years before the money pit was discovered. As much as we were hoping for answers, there may be some disappointment because the situation seems to be more complicated. That said, this situation could lead to the discovery of new opportunities for the team. Soon, the team came across two old pieces of iron that were discovered in the garden shaft. Apparently, this told the team that the source could be a lot older than they thought. Eager to gain some more clues and information, they continued with their work. At the edge of the area, before long, they came across a wooden feature, which led people to wonder if the building had any connection to a man-made feature that could have been made many centuries ago. Some even believe that this feature was made to hide something that was considered to be quite valuable. To gain more information, the team invited a geoscientist that went by the name Dr. Ian Spooner. With him around, he could do more study from the information gathered by the group. He could also study another part of their investigation, which involved the clarification on the possible link between an old stone path and a building that was made out of wood on the island. Upon looking into it, Dr. Spooner came to the conclusion that the feature could actually be on a wooden platform that may have been made 500 years ago. Perhaps more importantly, it could be linked to the nearby stone road and used for the loading and dumping of unwanted material. With this in mind, the team is certain that this place may have been used for several activities over many generations. As such, it is possible that such a place must have some rather valuable artifacts that could help the team figure out what the buildings were used for. Considering this, the team plans to continue digging so that they can see the full scale of the whole structure. Maybe it could even lead to the discovery of something that could give them some insights into the strange history of the islanders. At this point, the team has come across indications that may be involved with some ancient items, as well as some possible links. Following this, the team decided to do some work on Lot 21. This led to the discovery of some important things. The first of these was a pin that had a red gemstone set in it, while the other had a red gemstone in it as well. Both items were discovered in the same year. Considering this, these discoveries support the idea that there must have been a huge treasure chest full of gems hidden on the island at some point in time centuries ago. Understandably, this created a buzz of excitement among the team, especially as they went about trying to get the gems to experts for examination. That way, they could find out how old these items were and if they were actually connected, as their similar appearance seems to indicate. Moving forward, the team decided to analyze the money pit area using a method called seismic scans. Apparently, This would help them determine if there were any more gems hidden somewhere beneath the surface of the Money Pit area, as well as other parts of the island. After studying the scans for a while, the Lena brothers and the crew came together in the war room to take part in a presentation given by Dr. Simmons. In the course of the presentation, Dr. Simmons spoke about the results of his research into the notion that there may be a link between the Vikings and the Knights Templar. As we may remember, some of this evidence indicated that the Vikings explored North America all the way back in the 11th century. While giving this presentation, he made a connection between this and what the Knights Templar did during the Crusades. Following this, they explored the possibility that the Templar participated in the Oak Island mystery for quite a while. This takes into account how important the Templars were in the history of the island, and also gives clues as to how they may have gathered religious relics and artifacts. Dr. Simmons then provided a detailed historical account of King Sigurd of Norway's trip to Jerusalem. He focused on his interactions with people who would later be affiliated with the Knights Templar. Perhaps because the Vikings lived in the Holy Land, there are those who have pondered what implications this had on the history of the Knights Templar, as well as the many mysteries of Oak Island. Apparently, it is even possible that the Vikings knew about Oak Island before they had to hide or leave their home countries. With this in mind, Dr. Simmons believed that the Vikings worked hand in hand with the Knights Templar to bring their riches to the mysterious island. With any luck, this information may lead to the discovery of the treasure that is rumored to be hidden on this mysterious island. Until then, we can only hope to be there when the brothers and their crew uncover the hidden treasure of Oak Island. From the discovery of an ancient tunnel that may link the team to the treasure rumored to be hidden somewhere on this mysterious island, to the findings that indicate ancient religious and militant societies work together to bring this treasure to this mystifying place, the journey continues.